welcome everybody. Thank you for coming along today. My name is Bethan Smith. I'm part of the Good Practice team at Audit Wales. So this is our very first Sgwrs Paned session today. So it's a bit of a test for us. So bear with us if things kind of don't go as planned. We were conscious when we wanted to set this up, we were conscious that with the shift to kind of online working and events and that kind of thing, there's really little opportunities to kind of network and engage with others that aren't kind of typically in our circles of work. So we're hoping that today will provide a bit of a space for people to connect with others and hopefully learn something new and interesting. So we're joined today, our speaker today is Scott Tandy from Newydd Association. So thanks, Scott, for being here today. I'm going to hand over to Scott in a second, but I'll just kind of run through a couple of little points to know at the moment. So as always, any questions as Scott's presenting, feel free to pop them in the chat. There will be an opportunity at the end of Scott's presentation to ask questions as well. After we've heard from Scott, then we're going to split you up into pairs to have another conversation, and that could be about anything. So kind of just start by introducing yourselves, what you do, where you work, and yeah, there could be something really exciting you want to share. You could be struggling with something that you want another perspective on. There's kind of no limit to that conversation. So yeah, that's kind of all I want to say at the moment. Yeah, so I'll stop talking now. Scott, can I hand over to you? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, I'm going to share my screen and run through some slides. If you can just, or if someone can give me a quick shout out once they can see there.
Yeah, that's perfect, Scott. We can see that.
Brilliant news. All right. So thanks, Bethan, for introducing me. But yeah, I just want to quickly run through. I believe I got about 15-20 minutes. So if I'm honest, I just want to dive right in. Thanks for coming. And say that digital technology, as I'm sure we're all aware, has transformed the way we live, work, and communicate, and has become an essential part of our daily life. However, unfortunately, not everyone has access to digital technology or has the skills to use it effectively. Audit Wales themselves released a report on digital inclusion in Wales, highlighting that 7% of adults are digitally excluded, meaning they have not personally used the internet in the previous 3 months. This can have a significant impact on people's lives as they miss out on important services, opportunities, and social connections. As more and more things go online, the capacity to meet the needs of our service users is going to be a huge problem. Many organizations today are struggling to keep up with the demands of digital technology and may not have the expertise or resources in-house to provide effective digital services. This can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction among service users and can ultimately impact the success and experience for the service user and organization. So over the next few slides, I'm going to share with you some examples of work that I personally feel I've been incredibly lucky to be involved in, which I feel exemplify collaboration and show how Newydd Association are working with partners to support our tenants and beyond. So I want to start by saying a short story. It's a true story, and if you can, while I'm reading it out, ask yourself if you've experienced or seen a similar situation in your role or where you work. So in a small town, there was a woman named Jane. She had been digitally excluded for most of her life and found it increasingly difficult to keep up with the world around her. She had heard about the tablet borrow scheme set up by partners across the local authority, which allowed people to borrow Wi-Fi enabled tablets through the local libraries and receive basic digital skills training. This was a lifesaver for her, allowing her to access the internet and connect to the world around her. The scheme was a huge success, and the partners involved were all incredibly happy with the result. However, organizations, for one reason and another, began to replicate the scheme on their own. As such, the partners were faced with a difficult decision: to continue to work collaboratively and strengthen the project, or decide to go it alone and try and replicate the initial success themselves. Some partners decided to stay, build on the success and work together, while others chose to set up their own tablet borrow scheme. As a result, 5 borrow schemes now run in the area, and at first, engagement numbers continued to be high across all projects, and it seemed that the projects were thriving. However, over time, engagement numbers begin to spread across all the projects, and as a result, each project suffered. Eventually, all projects had to stop as it became too costly and too much time and too much of a burden for all. So this story highlights the importance of collaboration and working together for the benefits of the users. When partners work together, they can create something that is stronger and more sustainable, providing a better community and service for all. When partners go it alone, they can lead to duplication, competition, and ultimately the failure of a project. The Newydd is committed to constantly innovating and expanding our digital services and works closely with partners to create a comprehensive and complementary digital offering in the local authorities of where we have stock to our tenants, ensuring that our tenants and those that live within the communities we serve have access to the latest and most effective digital tools and resources. At Newydd, we understand that access is essential for our tenants to thrive in today's society, and we have taken several steps to ensure that our tenants have the digital resources, starting with a coordinated tablet borrow scheme. We work closely with our partners to deliver this scheme and others, ensuring our tenants have access to the top technology they so need. For tenants who fall outside the criteria of the National Data Bank, we offer short-term access to the internet so that they can stay connected and access to essential online services. We also work with external partners to gift digital equipment and data bundles, providing our tenants with the tools they need to succeed. To further support our tenants on their digital journey, we provide virtual support, helping them to navigate the online world and make the most of these resources. In areas of Newydd stock, we also work with local partners to deliver Digital Friday provision and other support services, where our tenants can come together and learn new digital skills and share their knowledge and experiences. Simply, we could not offer this level of service alone. Once our tenants and service users are confident in the use of the internet, we have found that they are more likely to engage in other digital projects and initiatives that we offer. For example, we have seen increased participation in our physical activity program, Get Fit Wales. Get Fit Wales is a pilot initiative that was set up in 2019 to address the issue of decreasing physical activity levels and its effects on health for our tenants in the Cwmtaf Morgannwg area. Recognizing the magnitude of the challenge at hand, we knew that we needed to think beyond ourselves and collaborate with other organizations in this space to ensure the longevity and success of the program. I'm extremely proud to say that we've been able to collaborate with partners that include Cwmtaf Morgannwg and Cardiff and the Vale Health Board, Cwmtaf Morgannwg and Cardiff and the Vale RIC, Public Health Wales, University of Trinity St David, the Wales Institute of Digital Information, along with community experts. During lockdown, We worked with our partners to improve the program's digital capabilities. I think I saw Wendy in the video call, so I just want to give a shout out to Nathan and Adesua. We've worked incredibly close with on this project. Their expertise and is been absolutely incredible to get this project to where it is, allowing us to connect with more devices and expand our reach into the Cardiff and the Vale local authority area. By thinking bigger than ourselves and collaborating with other experts, we've been able to achieve better engagement, improve retention rates, and help more of our tenants and the wider community to lead happy and healthy lives. We recognise that without the support of our valued partners, we would not have achieved the success we've had to date, supporting participants now across the Cwmtaf, Morgannwg and Cardiff and the Vale area. We are grateful for the ongoing collaboration and support and look forward to continuing this work together to improve the health and well-being of those we serve. Another example where collaboration has proven to be effective is our eCymru initiative. Since its launch, the eCymru initiative has provided a shared online platform co-developed by tenants and staff from across Wales, offering a range of live events, courses, on-demand content and information to support our tenants live happier and healthier lives. We've received positive feedback from tenants who have participated in our pilots. However, notably, the benefits have not been limited to tenants alone. The project has also had a significant impact on the staff, fostering a culture of open knowledge, sharing, and a provision of a supportive environment where it's okay to ask for help. For example, staff members have shared knowledge and resources on the use of smart speakers, meta portals to enhance the access to virtual events and services in care homes and independent living schemes. We've also shared knowledge and experience on using Microsoft Forms and Power Automate to streamline processes and increase the efficiency through automation. These examples demonstrate how eCymru is not only supporting our tenants, but fostering a culture of collaboration and knowledge sharing across the housing sector, enabling staff to improve services to their tenants and their organisation. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank all our partners and staff members who have collaborated with us to develop and deliver these initiatives. The success of our programs is a testament to the power of the collaboration and knowledge sharing, which has enabled us to meet the growing digital demands of our tenants and the wider community. Together, as we move forward, it is important to remember that thinking about the big picture is essential to achieving long-term success, improving digital inclusion and accessibility for all. Together, we can achieve more.
Thanks, Scott. That's really interesting. Thank you. I know you mentioned some of the partners you've worked with on the call. Was it Wendy?
Yeah.
I just wonder, did you want to come in on any and wanted to add anything, you know, from your perspective on any of the work?
I just think it's been a great collaborative with Scott and his colleagues, and it started with a conversation from Scott and colleagues asking for our help, actually, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and I think that's the testament, A, to Scott as the central lynch person in all of this, but also to all the collaborative partners who've been so willing to actually combine their thoughts and expertise in this. And I know he talked about it as is on the call. She's on the call as well, and she's been instrumental in doing a lot of the sort of development work. So I'd like to thank her as well. But no, well done, Scott and others, because it's been a brilliant collaborative partnership.
Thanks, Wendy. Did anyone else have any other questions for Scott? on the call.
Can I ask one, please?
Yeah, of course, Fran.
Thanks for that, Scott. I was just wanting to, if we've got time, know a little bit more about the Get Fit Cymru app and how that works. And it's obviously got kind of a gaming incentivizing background to it. Just whether you've got time to tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, of course. So initially, like as I mentioned in the presentation, when we first set it up, the project was simply to connect step trackers to the website, and then we allocated people targets, and this was all manual now. So we assigned everyone targets, and then when they hit them targets, we'd give them 2 points, and then over the duration of time, we turned points into prizes, so people could spend them on. We would promote local health and well-being services, the local gym, the local fruit and veg shop, the local butchers, and so on, and work with them that they could spend their points for having free meat in the butchers, for example, or free fruit and veg. And then through these little iterations, and like I said, thanks to Wendy, the help, everyone that's come on board since the project's come. I think it's ready now it's gone to its next iteration. In fact, it's gone to it further and further and further. And part of that way is through the gamification and the use of IoT and so on, which is well out of my scope and my skills, which is why, Adeswa, Nathan, he is incredible. Fair play to him. A developer that they got, that they've built all this in the back end, and now, like I said, we can set you up with an account if you like to show you. It uses quests, so there's virtual quests. So we done some research around the participants who were on the original version, and what they said was, if I could do it again, I'd love to walk a Pen y Fan. That I live in Merthyr. That I've always wanted. I can see it. I've always wanted to do that thing. And them conversations seem to be quite common. So when we spoke to University of Wales, Trinity, St David, and all the others, that's where we built in these virtual quests. So when they've done them, when they completed these quests, that would provide, depending on the level of quest, would give you a points. And again, it would go back to your progress bar then that you could see, which would give you, again, but going back to the local fruit and veg and going back to the local provision to try and help the local services in their area. Because what we were finding was people who were joining the project, never been to the gym before, probably didn't really use the local services, or was made aware of them. It was surprising how many people didn't know the local fruit and veg shop or didn't know the local butcher, and it was just to say it's yours, don't it's at the bottom of the hill kind of thing. And that free voucher would give them the confidence to go in and do that. And what we did find was the butchers would offer that personal touch. So, right, Fran, how's it going? Yeah, what are you cooking? What are you looking to do? X, Y, Z. From speaking to the butchers and everyone else in between, what they did say was, when the project finished, these people continued to come because they built that community base, they built that friendship, they built that, I know it's down there. In the hope of the wider benefit of Get Fit Wales is, they continue to live happy and healthy through the services, reducing that confidence, increasing that confidence, and trying to get them into them local services.
Thanks, that's really helpful. I think just context, we're looking at, particularly with hybrid working, ways that we can encourage staff to move, because it's great being able to work from home, isn't it? But actually, I don't know about you, I've been in back-to-back meetings all morning. My step count's probably about 4. So yeah, I think the gamification approach is a really interesting one to follow, and I guess, I don't know, you've done it in conjunction with Public Health Wales, I assume, that is there scope for that development to roll out potentially?
Wendy,
Thanks.
sorry.
Can I just come in there? So, Fran, the other part of this was about applied research. So, one of our academic directors within the university, his PhD's in gamification, motivation from youngsters, because he's the academic director for sports and healthy living here at the University of Wales, Trinity St David. So, we used his research and findings to actually input into the process there. So it's evidence-based as well, but it's also saying, and the evidence is showing, as you quite rightly have alluded to, you either sit down all day because you're, at home all day now doing your hybrid working, or you get bored, which is what we didn't want the young children to do, to get bored of doing the same thing, which is where his research was coming in and showing how if you sort of gamified stuff, then actually the motivation continues for longer.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy to share some of that with you outside of here, Fran.
That'd be really helpful. I'm a avid park runner, and I just know those little goals. The simple thing of a t-shirt, it's ridiculous, but it keeps you going back. And this just looks really interesting and potential for all public sector really, is to not that I've got any research on it, but we all seem to be sticking to hybrid working, and how do we balance that health situation? How do we keep our staff healthy? How do we keep them active when we've enabled this hybrid world that can actually, if we're not careful, see our staff not moving at all? So it's one for further debate, I think.
Yeah, I'm more than happy, because we're doing some work on that in the university with one of our outdoors, and working with the health board about the green spaces as well, and how they can bring some of their burnt out staff to a sort of peaceful green space and have that as a bit of a relaxation day out in terms of, but also team building. So lots going on in this area. Great, I'll pop my email address in and you can contact me.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to follow on one of the things what Wendy mentioned there was about the retention. So when we first set up Get Fit Wales, what we would find is that there was a huge spike because there was a buzz and people enjoy taking part in new things and so on. But there was a decline and drop off. And what all the research helped us do is to grow the retention rate or engagement rate of the participants on the project. So they continue to have that, because people enjoyed, as you mentioned, Fran, the t-shirt moment when they see it, they've walked up when they see they've completed this quest and everything so on. They would continue go on and get that, continue to have that and follow it on, and it's helped us for the participants to stay on there and actively engage on the project, rather than us having to chase up the participant and give them that nudge ourselves.
Thanks, Scott. And I was just thinking, actually, Scott, from when you spoke at one of our events, and I was looking, it was 2019, so it's still still going strong, which I think is testament to all the work you've done. So we've just had another question come in from Amanda in the chat. There's a couple of questions in there. I'll start with the first one. So Amanda said, you mentioned the hardware, but what about helping to access the web? Obviously costs of online and that kind of thing, which I guess is probably a massive issue for a lot of people at the moment, in terms of the cost of living crisis and that kind of thing. I don't know if you've got the answer to this, Scott, but
so have you got any thoughts on the cost of hardware?
So so you've mentioned the hardware, so it's about what about helping people to actually access online services, the cost of actually having access.
So the actual online data usage, being able to sign online, that kind of cost. I mean, not everybody can afford to have internet.
Yeah, that's a great question. So around the access to devices and internet question, Newydd work, we offer tablet borrow schemes and device borrow schemes and so on. The tenants can borrow. And then what we do is we put them on, like there's a plan ideally that we work with them on. So the initial stage is for them to borrow the device and internet, so an internet enabled tablet or device that they need that's best suited for their needs. From that, then we'll be working with them to work out their needs a bit more and get a bit of a personal plan for them. Part of that is then we'll feed them into the National Data Bank. So Newydd are partners of the National Data Bank, which allow us to provide SIM cards and data bundles, which allow people to have data for, I believe it's up to 6 months, to continue that journey. And then, like I said, as we're working alongside with them there, if we have to take if the tablet borrow scheme time frame has ended, we'd feed them then into the device gifting scheme. So like I said, Newydd work with quite a lot of partners and trying to push stuff through community benefits clauses and so on, where our contractors support us or give us things. Part of that is when they give us devices where they've used or looking to get rid of, and we wipe them, prepare them, and we gift them to tenants to cover that hardware cost. And then obviously there's a 6-month time period that's going to end at 6 months probably, will end. And what we do then in that duration, we'll be working with them to make them aware of affordable internet schemes, in the hope that by that 6 months, they'll either know the internet, I'm not really using it, it's not really for me, or B, wow, this thing's amazing. I can see the benefit of me paying £10 or £15 a month to have the affordable internet scheme.
Well, thanks, Scott. Hopefully that answers the question. Amanda's just popped another question in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is in relation to Get Fit Wales. So it's around how do you cater for disabilities, people with mobility limitations and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the Fitbits or the step trackers work on movement. So we've got 2 participants on there at the moment, which are wheelchair users, and they earn points. Their targets are the same as what they set themselves. So one of the good things about Get Fit Wales, which came as a result of all the partners becoming involved in, it's not you've got to do 10,000 steps, you've got to do XYZ. You set your own challenges. So some of the challenges on there are 500 or 200, or can you do XYZ? So you set your own challenges, and I know some of the 2 participants were both wheelchair users. Their feedback seems to be quite positive, to be honest. Well, similar to the rest of the participants. They're earning their points, they're completing the challenges, their quests, and I think they've used the local fruit and veg. So.
Real, thanks, Scott. And then there's one more question. So who can join the Get Fit Wales activity?
So who can join? It's a bit of everyone, to be honest. So I'll say that again, actually, because that's wrong. It was open for everyone, and we learned the hard way. So we spoke on ITV, I think it might be in 2019 or something, and it was open for anyone. And what happened was we got bombarded by marathon runners, which I call them, and they completed all the challenges. You built up loads of points and had loads of free stuff, is pretty much. So we thought, oh, we probably need to change this now, to stop marathon runners benefiting from it, which they might need to as well. So you can get referred in, and you simply just need to get referred in by a partner. So the health board referring patients from the WISE program, Newydd and Happy referring. What we want is basically someone to say they would benefit from joining this project, rather than a self-referral where they go to the gym 7 days a week, they run marathon 3 times a week, and XYZ. We are looking for Get Fit Wales to have a general, everyone can access version, However, that's something we're working on now. So it's not in place at the moment, but we are having conversations about how can we make it wider that everyone can join, because I think it'll help us build up community cohesion and population health.
Thanks, Scott. That's really helpful. I think we're out of questions in the chat, but there was one thing I was going to ask, actually, if you don't mind. So in the presentation, you talked about Digital Fridays. I was just going to ask a little bit more about that and how they sort of work.
Yeah. So what Digital Fridays is where partners have come together, and we focus it around the libraries predominantly, because the libraries are probably the most central location to each village or each, good placed, or nicely placed. And then there's within each of the partners involved, one of the partners attends a library on a Friday, which means every library has got a person in there, and it's basically called Digital Fridays. The reason why we went down that route, so the first iteration of it was I turn up on a Monday, someone else would turn up on a Tuesday, and what we were finding was the service users were getting really frustrated because the job centre and other partners were referring to digital support were going, for example, go to the drop-in on Monday at 2 o'clock in Barry Library, and they turn up Monday and they'd go, oh, it's really Thursday. They go, oh, I messed that up now, and they'd come back Thursday and they wouldn't be best pleased, or they might turn up. And so to reduce or even stop that problem, we decided, let's pick a day and let's focus Friday 10 till 12 in every library. That's the digital support day. That's where people can go, and there's benefits and cons of that, I know, but for Mark, what we found was it seemed to work better for the service users, because there was zero frustration turning up on a Tuesday or turning up on a day that wasn't there, because some people got to catch the bus, or some people got to walk or get there. And it's almost heartbreaking when you desperately need support and you turn up and they go, oh, you're on the wrong day.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I just thought I wanted to pick up on it because it's something that I hadn't heard about before. But it's a really good idea, I think.